Welcome back to many of you. I see a lot of familiar faces to the Open Classroom. I'm Joan Fitzgerald. I'm the Interim Dean of the School of Public Policy and Urban Affairs, and very pleased to be introducing our Open Classroom entitled Climate Change, Challenges, Solutions. And we have quite a lineup both this evening and throughout this semester on the topic. We cover science, politics, etc. This course is actually a couple of years in the making. Doug Foy and I were going to co-teach a course on climate change, and in the end worked very closely with two of our PhD students, Lisa Granquist, who's been essential in helping us plan this, and David Sittenfeld, who's also the manager of the Forum program at the Museum of Science. And so this year we actually decided to offer it as an open classroom, so it's really been a collaborative effort. I'm going to play a minor role, but a role nonetheless in this. So I want to introduce the co-instructors of the Open Classroom this semester, Matthias, Ruth, and Doug Foy. Matthias is new to the university this year. He came from the University of Maryland. He has a PhD in geography from the University of Illinois, and since then has been doing a lot of work on modeling and empirical analysis of human environmental relations. He's the author or editor of 12 books and over 100 articles, and in addition to his academic work, has done a lot of applied work in the area of energy and climate, including shaping the agenda for the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, known as OECD, Summit on Cities and Climate Change, an advisor to the European Commission on regional policy. He's testified before the Senate on numerous occasions, and he's the founder of a new journal on climate called Urban Climate that I think has its first issue just published. And since coming here in July already, he's been invited to work on practical issues in Massachusetts as a member of the Energy Policy Review Commission. So we are delighted to have Matthias Ruth with us as the key academic instructor of the Open Classroom. Doug Foy is probably a familiar name to many of you here in Massachusetts. For 25 years, he was the president of the Conservation Law Foundation, which is New England's premier environmental advocacy organization. He's well known here in Massachusetts for the lawsuit that led to the cleanup of the Boston Harbor and many other efforts to protect the environment, not just in Massachusetts, but throughout New England. In 1992, President George H.W. Bush recognized his work on energy efficiency with the President's Environmental and Conservation Challenge Award, which is the country's highest conservation award. You may also remember that he served as the first secretary of the Office of Commonwealth Development from 2003 to 2006 under Governor Mitt Romney. And this office was specially created to coordinate housing, transportation, energy, and environment. And in that office was responsible for a lot of things that are familiar to us, Chapter 40R, Chapter 40S, work on brownfield development, and also his work on smart growth. Doug was also the recipient of the Woodrow Wilson Award for Public Service. He's a graduate of Princeton University in engineering and physics and Harvard Law School. So I am quite honored to be among such good company in introducing the Open Classroom on climate change, and I'll now turn it over to Matthias.
Thanks, Joan, and thanks to everyone who's here. This is really exciting. Many of you might have seen the news releases and newspaper articles yesterday and today. 2012 being declared the hottest on record for the contiguous 48 United States. Many of us probably start thinking, are these extremes sort of the new normal? What does it really mean to have climate change? how does it change our lives, our livelihoods? How does it affect the conditions under which we engage in commerce, engage in our spare time activities and tourism? What does it mean for our standards of living, but also what does it mean for other species? What's actually happening with the climate? That's a question that many of us ask and have asked for a long period of time. And today we'll actually start with some of the leading thinkers and researchers on both the climate and the ethics arena who have made lasting and very impactful contributions to our understanding of the dynamics, but also to some extent the action space that's still available to us. So over the course of this semester, we will have, like tonight's speakers, about whom I'll talk in a minute a little more, we'll have others come in with various backgrounds on climate-related issues. Researchers from different academic disciplines, practitioners who have been engaged at the very local to the global level on climate-related issues. And so I want to invite you for this, what I hope in some sense is a joyride through an otherwise rather depressing, potentially depressing topic. I would also like to invite you to engage with our speakers who bring their expertise to you, challenge them to the extent that you wish, and take with you the advice and wise counsel and insights that they can generate, so that as we leave this room, we can make a difference to what's happening out there. The two speakers for tonight, James Anderson from Harvard University, long recognized for his contributions to climate and energy-related issues, is the Philip S. Well Professor of Atmospheric Chemistry, and is also the principal investigator of the Anderson Research Group, which focuses on chemistry and physics of climate and Earth system dynamics or change. He brings in his research group research together from chemistry, from physics, from mathematics, and covers a whole spectrum of experimental and theoretical work. So I'm very excited to have you here and share with us your many years of very exciting research. And then we have also Ron Sandler, our very own Ron Sandler, Associate Professor of Philosophy and the Director of the Essex Institute here at Northeastern University, who specializes in ethical theory, ethics and technology, and environmental ethics, and very recently has published a book with Cambridge University Press that provides an introduction to the ethics of species. So I'm very happy to have him here, and both of those will start this semester by both talking about the science and the ethics, and then in the course of the next few weeks, we will then move on to take that information into the realm of governance, which means more than just government. It means the roles of institutions, broadly defined, of civil society, and the opportunities that exist to shape the climate under which we currently operate and in the future will have to operate. We'll then move on to the also very important aspect of economy and business, with three leaders in that area sharing their experiences, and then from there to talk about very specifically about strategies to cut carbon and other kinds of greenhouse gas emissions, and on throughout the semester. So stay tuned as we move through in just a few weeks all of the main topics that have shaped and helped shape the climate debate, and it's my expectation that as you join us over the course of those next few weeks, you will not only hear some of the leading experts, but also take with you actionable advice into your everyday life as citizens, as voters, as business decision makers, as leaders in the organizations in which you operate. So I want to again welcome you, thank you for being here. I find it very exciting, and most importantly, I now want to welcome our first speaker, Jim Anderson, to share with us his comments. Thanks.